To a human, it's just a modern inconvenience. You step inside your home office, you pull a wooden panel shut to jump on a video call, or you close your bedroom door at night to get some sleep. It is a minor boundary, a temporary boundary. But to the small predator living in your house, that closed door isn't an inconvenience. It is an existential threat. It is an architectural insult. Instantly, a psychological shift occurs inside your cat's brain. Their pulse quickens. Stress hormones flood their system. A creature defined by poise and cool indifference suddenly devolves into a state of vocal screaming, frantic pacing, and desperate clawing. For decades, we've laughed this behavior off. We call them needy. We joke about feline entitlement, assuming our cats simply can't bear to be apart from us for a single hour. We look at their dramatic meltdown and see a needy pet craving affection. But behavioral biology tells a much more complex and unsettling story. Your cat isn't crying because they miss your company. They don't care about your video call, and they don't care about your sleep. They are experiencing a primitive, deeply hardwired psychological crisis. To a feline, a closed door doesn't mean keep out. It means a piece of their vital survival network has just been violently stolen from them. To understand the panic of the closed door, we have to look at how a cat perceives space. Humans think in terms of ownership and real estate. Cats think in terms of ecology and survival lines. In feline psychology, a home is not a home. It is a mapped grid divided into two distinct zones: the core territory, where they eat, sleep, and feel safe, and the home range, the broader perimeter they feel compelled to monitor. When you close a door, you aren't just changing the layout of the house, you are performing an unauthorized real-time amputation of their territory. Behavioral studies show that cats are obligate control freaks. Because they are small predators, who also happen to be small enough to be prey for larger animals, their entire psychological stability relies on total environmental awareness. Feline behaviorists have tracked how cats utilize space, discovering that unpredictability is the ultimate trigger for feline anxiety. A closed door introduces a massive blind spot into their map. They cannot smell what is behind it. They cannot see what is changing within it. Their primal coding tells them that an enemy predator could be breeding, plotting, or occupying that space without their knowledge. When your cat scratches at a closed door, it is rarely an act of love. It's an act of resource reclamation. In a landmark consensus on feline environmental needs, researchers noted that a lack of environmental choice and control is the primary driver of domestic feline neurosis. They aren't crying to get in because they want to sit with you. Notice what happens when you finally open the door. Quite often, they just look around, sniff the air, turn around, and walk away. They didn't want your company. They wanted the geometric continuity of their empire restored. They needed to verify that the boundary was down, the map was whole, and that they were once again the absolute rulers of the perimeter. How an animal manages an invisible empire without physical fences is a masterpiece of chemical engineering. In the wild, felines do not guard boundaries with physical presence. That wastes too much energy. Instead, they use a sophisticated system of olfactory property lines. Every time your cat rubs their face against a wall, a chair, or your ankles, they are depositing lipid secretions from their sebaceous glands. These pheromones act as a dynamic, invisible bulletin board. To another animal, these scents read like a passport, declaring exactly who owns this space, when they last checked it, and their current health status. But these chemical messages are volatile. They degrade over time. A cat must constantly walk their territory to refresh their scent signatures. When you close a door, you cut off their maintenance route. The pheromones inside that room begin to decay. In the mind of the cat, that room is literally dissolving. Worse still, a closed door weaponizes their greatest asset, their hearing. A cat's hearing range extends up to 64 kilohertz, a full octave above human hearing and significantly higher than a dog's. They can hear the high-pitched ultrasonic rustle of a mouse behind drywall. When you close a door and move around inside, your cat doesn't just hear silence. They hear a muffled, distorted, low-frequency acoustic nightmare. They can hear your footsteps, the rustle of papers, the low murmur of your voice. But they lack the visual data to contextualize it. To a hyper-vigilant predator, a muffled, unseen sound is the definition of a threat. The door doesn't just block their body, it traps their mind in a state of sensory deprivation. This brings us to the more serious, invisible consequence of the closed door phenomenon. Because we view their door scratching as a harmless, funny quirk, we often ignore the chronic psychological toll it takes on a house cat over time. Veterinary behaviorists have long known that chronic environmental stress in felines doesn't just result in bad behavior, it manifests as physical illness. One of the most common reasons cats are brought to the vet is a condition called idiopathic cystitis, a painful, sterile inflammation of the bladder. For years, the word idiopathic meant medicine didn't know what caused it. Today, we know the primary trigger is environmental stress caused by a lack of control. When a cat is trapped in an environment where their territorial access is constantly changing, where boundaries are unpredictable, their sympathetic nervous system stays locked in a fight or flight loop. They aren't just being dramatic. Their bodies are literally attacking themselves because they cannot resolve the territorial paradox of the human house. We ask them to live in a world where the laws of physics and geography change at the whim of a primate. A hallway that was open at noon is a dead end at night. To an animal whose survival code was forged in the predictable, unshifting geometry of nature, our shifting household boundaries are a source of profound, chronic confusion. It is easy to find this exhausting. We live in a world that demands our own boundaries. We need our privacy, our focus, and our personal space. We want to believe that our cats should understand that we will come out eventually, that our love for them hasn't changed just because a piece of wood is between us. But the beauty of understanding feline territory psychology is that it allows us to look past our own human definitions of space. When your cat screams at the door, they aren't trying to micromanage your life. They are inviting you into a deeply ancient mammalian treaty. They are asking for the one thing every living creature requires to feel at peace: predictability. We have built our world out of rooms, compartments, and locked boxes, separating ourselves from nature and each other. But when you leave the door just a few inches ajar, you aren't just accommodating a pet. You are honoring a prehistoric blueprint of total freedom. You are letting a small, magnificent predator feel safe in an artificial world. And perhaps in opening that door, you might find that a world without artificial walls is a slightly better place for both of you to live. Thanks for watching. If you want to continue mapping the hidden landscapes of the feline mind, hit subscribe and maybe leave the door cracked tonight.